Hi everyone and welcome. I'm sorry we're a little late today. Welcome to our first Ask Me Anything. I'm Jac Taylor. I am here. I am alive. It is amazing. Some of you may know that I had a little bit of a moment in 2 hospitals in 1 week, 3 pulmonary embolisms, 1 partially collapsed lung, and 1 schedule that is absolutely way behind. So thanks for bearing with me, but I am here. I am coming to you from my bed. I can walk around, but I like my plants, so welcome. I have 10 questions from you guys. Thank you very much. If you're wondering how to ask a question for the next Ask Me Anything, you need to be a newsletter subscriber of thetravel10.com. Then we'll send you a little link and you can send your questions. I've had some really interesting questions. What's really cool is I don't necessarily want to talk about what I always talk about. I do a lot of TV and radio and that kind of thing, but to actually get your questions is so much more interesting. Also, I'm really sorry that I'm wobbling around a little bit, but my tripod just died and because I nearly died, I'm not dealing with the tripod, so I'm sorry we're handheld today. All right, okay, we've got our questions. What do we got? I've got 1 minute per question. Hang on. So, first of all, we have a question from Ace, a first-time female solo traveler, and she is asking whether she should stick with the usual safe locations or not. That's a really interesting question. I used a picture of me in Singapore so you could see me standing next to a car that was all about don't get rubbed the wrong way, you know, and telling women that they should look after themselves. Singapore is an incredibly safe location, yet if you look back on our social posts, you'll see it does say on the car, low crime doesn't mean no crime. And you know what? I'm not into the whole victim blaming scenario of that whole it's up to the women to not get rubbed the wrong way, but I am totally into the fact that low crime does not equal no crime. So pretty much I'm not going to say that you're the same amount of safe everywhere that you go, but you can keep your wits about you. Singapore, I have often walked around late at night absolutely perfectly safe, but then on the other hand, some of the few countries that I would feel safe even catching a lift, hitchhiking, would be in the Middle East, in Qatar, where I worked for a little while, because of the way that the culture works. So don't necessarily keep it to that small list of safe destinations. I would say stretch a little more widely. I generally don't go out at night a lot unless I have somewhere particular to go. I check out taxis, even places like Japan, which are really safe. But I still like to know where I'm going, how I'm getting there. And I've traveled most of the world like that. So it's not so much the destination, it's your preparation, I reckon. All right, I reckon that's 1 minute. Okay. Oh, this is the big one. I teased you guys this week. How to stay in an Italian villa for free. I don't know if you saw my picture on Instagram. There was a real picture. I took that picture from a beautiful Italian villa. That's a very expensive villa. You're not going to stay in that villa for free, but there are many, many Italian villas, and I have seen them lately. I have seen multiple Italian villas on some of my very favorite websites. And by the way, this is not a paid plug. I just really, really like them and I really like to use them. Trustedhousesitters.com is the one that I like to use. Go house sitting. Because a lot of these Italian villas, in particular, the ones around Florence and the wider areas of Italy, they are privately owned. So you can, in fact, stay in these villas for free. My favorite place changes all the time. And you know, the cool thing about being a travel writer is I don't just go to places that I like to go to, or that I want to go to even, or that I even know are on the map. A recent trip I took to central Japan, which I have been going on about on the Travel 10, and I have so many photos ready to show you guys. Oh my God, there are so many. I'm actually delayed in showing them to you because I have something like 120 gig of photos that I took just in this central Japan area. It's the area between Kyoto and Osaka, like we know that bit, and then we know Tokyo over here, and then there's this huge big bit, you know, Mount Fuji's in the middle and we know that bit. but there's all this other stuff that I had no idea was there, and I had to look it up. I mean, I feel a bit ashamed. I even had to look up Nagoya, but there is so much there that I didn't even know about, and now it's become possibly my favorite place, one of my favorite places. I have so many stories. I can't tell you that in a minute, so I'm going to say that for now. It became my unexpected favorite place because I was so surprised. These poor handlers who were there to bring me along and show me all the sights were literally, well, not literally because they're Japanese and they're lovely, but they were almost literally dragging me from place to place because I was like, oh, just one more photo, one more photo, one more photo. It's so beautiful. I just want to take a photo. So central Japan, otherwise known as Chubu, the area around Nagoya, Suruga Bay, and I've gone over 1 minute yet again. Okay. Next question. This is a good one. Okay. I've been asked, sorry, I didn't write down everybody's name, so I'll have to do that next time. This is my very first Ask Me Anything. About street food. Do you eat the street food? And because I'm supposed to be this cool travel writer, I'm supposed to go, oh yeah, it's totally cool. Yeah, no, yeah, no. Hell no. No. I mean, well, okay. I eat completely vegetarian. Some of the street food has different rules in different countries, and their idea of safe is not necessarily my idea of safe. Great example, I did a fantastic street food tour of Bangkok, and I said, look, I don't know about that meat. It's been lying there in the Bangkok sun all day long, you know, not so much. And the guide said, look, don't worry about it. We're going to cook it, and it's been lying there in the sun all day, but then we cook it so you don't have to worry about it. It'll be fine. No. Okay, next one. Yes. Okay. All right. Next question is a really, really nice one. It's from somebody who's expecting. Congratulations, you got a bun in the oven. I have had a bun in the oven too. She is no longer a bun. She is a very vocal bun now. And you want to know where to go on your baby moon. It's actually a really contentious topic. I am in quite a few online mums groups where it gets really crazy. Once again, the whole go vegetarian thing comes into play. I actually took my baby moon in Malaysia. We went specifically because my partner has ties in Malaysia, so that's why we went. But funnily enough, he got terrible food sickness. At one point, I was pretty much carrying him as well as the baby in my belly. I was carrying him to the bus station so that we could continue our baby moon because I went vegetarian and he didn't. That's it. So again, just like the other questions, it's not so much where you go, it's what you do when you get there. I lived on fruit and vegetarian meals and ice cream, and I was as happy as anything because I was pregnant and that's what I wanted to eat anyway. The other thing about the baby moon is depending on how far along you are, you need to look at which airline will fly you up to how many weeks. I had to pretend, I had to put a whole lot of layers on to try and get on my flight, and I only just got on there. The final thing is it's actually very uncomfortable to lie on your back on a sun lounger in a bikini or otherwise when you're pregnant. So if you have those wonderful imaginings that you're going to be lying there in the sun, you're probably going to be lying there uncomfortably on your side, so maybe something different. Okay. Where should I go for my next cheapo Asian holiday? Look, I do it too. We do cheap Asian holidays. I love it. We're in Australia. It's really easy to get to Asia. With airlines like Scoot and Air Asia, we do end up in Asia. Right now, the cheap holiday that I'm looking at actually for myself is to China. And the reason why I'm looking at China is because the Chinese airlines, hang on, I'll give you a bit more arm there so you're not wobbling around so much while I'm talking. Sorry. New tripod, duty free, next trip. Anyone want to sponsor me? Go right ahead. I'm going to China because Chinese airlines right now are unbelievable. The deals are incredible. China Southern Airlines can get me, for example, and my child over to Shanghai for around between $300 and $400 return. And I'm talking peak time as well. I'm not talking about middle of the night. It depends how much you're willing to go on red eyes overnight, maybe stop over in somewhere unexpected. If you go on sites such as iwantthatflight.com.au, which is my personal favorite because it's so flexible, you can go multi-city. Once you check out your flight and you see that it's stopping somewhere, change your search so that you're including that stop in a multi-city search. So for example, I noticed a lot of the Shanghai ones were stopping via Chengdu. So I changed it to a multi-city search where I was searching Sydney to Shanghai, Shanghai to Chengdu, Chengdu to Sydney. It was the same price. But instead of having an annoying 7-hour stopover or something like that at 2 o'clock in the morning, we were stopping off in Chengdu for 2 days, check out the giant pandas and all that kind of stuff. Okay, your must-have item in your luggage. What a good question. Look, the usual things are packing cells, because packing cells are the bomb. They are so good. Not only can you get all the little different zip-up compartments, but you can also then put things in those compartments. If it's soft, like your undies or your scarves or whatever, then you can roll it up once you've zipped it up, and it takes up absolutely no room. It's so clever. Another thing that I absolutely cannot do without, I take it on every single trip. My little solar lantern has a solar cell on the top. Then it can actually pull out so that it can light a room for those bloody hotel rooms that still don't have a bedside light. What's with that? And then on top of that, it actually has little chargers so that you can charge it from a USB. You can also charge through USB. So for example, you can charge your phone. In particular, I was in outback New South Wales and I was absolutely low on battery. I'm always low on battery because of the amount of video that I do on my phone. Sometimes even with a tripod that doesn't break. And I was out in outback New South Wales with the sun beating down, and it was so perfect. I got to put out my little lantern with its little solar cell, and it became a little solar charger for my phone. It gave me just enough to keep on going. So it's a great little item to have in your luggage. Okay, one last one. Here we go. Oh, this is a really cool one as well. You guys have really good questions. Okay. How to beat swollen legs and swollen feet when you travel. And I know that the straight up answer, of course, is to wear those compression socks. They work. I love compression socks. I have just been hospitalized with pulmonary embolism, so they are fantastic. I have been using them just for cosmetic reasons to wear those compression socks. I sometimes double them up with compression leggings as well. I don't know if you've ever done this, but there's this little pressure point just below your knee where the compression sock digs into the compression legging, and it can get really hardcore. So have a practice go before you get on a long haul flight is my tip. Also, stay hydrated. It is true. And if worst comes to worst, make sure that you know where the ice machine is to stick your feet in at the other end. Yep, I've done that too. Thank you very much for joining in. If you want to ask your own question, our next Ask Me Anything will be at the end of April. Sign on up. You do get a chance then to ask your own question, and I'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye.